All right, so today in class we started seeing linear equations for the very first time. And I apologize, I don't need this. Okay, so we started seeing linear equations today for the first time. And so we started seeing equations that basically have two variables in them, x and y. All right, and this is a first for us this year. And what we talked about in class today is it's kind of like when we were doing our algebra equations, when we only had one variable. All right, when we saw something like 3x minus 7 equals 10, our job was to figure out what's the missing piece. Okay, we had to figure out what number is missing for x to make this equation true. Now our goal is still the same. All right, it's just magnified a little bit because now we actually have two missing pieces. All right, so that's our job, is to figure out what are the two missing pieces, x and y, so this equation is true, which means it comes up with an answer of 4. All right, now what we decided in class today, though, was there's more than one combination. All right, there's more than one way for us to come up with 4. There's lots of different ways to come up with 4. So one of the ways we keep track of this is we make our little XY table so we can be organized. All right, and it's basically a guessing game. Okay, we decided in class all numbers are possible. We just have to figure out the right pairs that go together. So for example, if we just want to guess that x is a 3, all right, we're going to guess that x is equal to 3. We can substitute that in. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 2y equals 4. Okay, well, some of you might be saying, okay, I got to go from 6 down to 4. That means I have to subtract a 2. What number do I need? We need a 1. Because that would be 6 minus 2, which equals 4. Okay, so the point 3, 1, the pair 3, 1, is one solution to this particular equation. We decided in class today that we need to come up with 3. All right, we know that there's an infinite amount. All right, but as far as class goes, we need to be able to come up with at least 3 different possibilities. So again, make another good guess here. We're going to say x equals 4. All right, so now we can substitute in. We just replace with a 4. So 2 times 4 minus 2y equals 4. 8 minus 2y equals 4. And again, at this point, if you want, you can do some of your algebra skills. Subtract 8 from both sides. Negative 2y has to make a negative 4. All right, negative 2y has to equal a negative 4. Well, we know that that's going to need to be a 2. Okay. Divide everything by negative 2. We end up with y equals 2. Okay, so we got 3, 4. We got 1, 2. And there's no rules as far as guessing goes. If you want to guess a y first, we could do that. You could say we're going to start this one as a 0. So 2 times x minus 2 times 0 has to equal 4. Well, 2 times 0 is 0. Subtracting 0, that's nothing. So 2x has to equal 4. Divide everything by 2. X equals 2. Okay, so we come up with 3 different sets. Again, as far as the homework goes, your ordered pairs, the 3 combinations that you come up with may not match the 3 that somebody else comes up with. That's okay. All right, because remember, this is just a representation. Where do all of these come in? Well, and that's where we need to do the graphing part. All right, this is where we need to do the graphing part of our equations. And so what we should notice is if we take our values, 1, 2, 3, up 1, over 4, up 2, over 2, up 0. Once we plot those 3 points actually lie on a straight line. All right, now again, when we say line, ends up being a diagonal line. We want to connect those as big as our grid will allow. Okay. And what we have just marked are several more. We found 3, but notice any of these points that we would want to choose. Okay, let's say we come clear up here to point A. the coordinates for point A, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be the point 6, 4. Well, if you put 6 and 4 in our equation, 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. Well, what is 12 minus 8? 4. You just found another one. All right, and you can do the same thing with any of these chosen points. All right, so that's the goal. We want you to find 3, okay, and then we're going to graph, and this is just a representation of as many different missing pairs of numbers. All right, that's our goal. What are the missing numbers? All right, and we want to create a visual for that. All right, now the other type of equations we looked at, we basically have 2 types. Okay, we have a standard form here. X and Y are together, and then we have what we call Y equals form. All right, we have what we call Y equals form here on the side. Goals are still the same. We want to come up with 3. These seem to be a little bit nicer to work with because if we want to guess something like Y equals 3, or excuse me, X equals 3, all we have to do is substitute the 3 in there and then solve it. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 minus 6. So we guess 3, we get an answer of 3. Guess 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 minus 6, we get a negative 3. Guess a 0. 0 minus 6, we get a negative 6. So again, kind of a guessing game. Guess 1, we can calculate the other one that goes with it. All right, goals are still the same. After we get our original equation, we find 3 sets. We want to go ahead and graph that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 0, down 6. And again, we get a little bit steeper line here. Get a little bit steeper line. Now we notice on this one's not quite as obvious as the one we did up here. This first one we set up, there's lots of choices that work right out on our coordinate grid for us. On this one, as we go up and down, we can find one here that works out. Okay, these are in-betweens, in-betweens. We can get another one up here maybe. All right, so there's no guarantee that every single line is going to hit every single point, but we can find ourselves some. We can find ourselves some. So that's the goal for tonight. Practice your graphing, do the best you can, and as always, we'll go over it tomorrow. Have a good night.